Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is MOS68X again for another video that is doing my latest stuff. There has been many changes and a lot more time since the last video, so this right here is what I'm getting. I currently have it set up as 6 plate gaps between the power and between the positive and negative electrodes. This right here is just, these two wires are just for the pump, which I'm going to be changing that. I need to put a PWM in between because right now, as you can see, the bubbles, it's pretty active. The problem is when I plug it in and let it run for a little bit, the volume of the jug, yeah, you'll start seeing it if you haven't already. There's quite a bit of foaming action, which when I was originally thinking of it is the way I wanted it so I could keep the explosive hazard down. However, this is foaming way too much and it's actually becoming counterproductive. So what I'll probably end up doing, alright, yeah, that's enough, and it'll probably end up keep going if I let it. It's actually counterproductive, and it looks like I might have a little bit of boil over this time. Yes, no, maybe. Maybe I'll take off power. Disconnect power for a little bit. Anyways, I'm going to get a PWM so that I can turn down the speed of the pump so that it does not creating near as much of a foaming action and gets more of what I was aiming after, which is just, you know, small separation of bubbles, or small bubbles rather. Something a lot more manageable. That way I can pick up clean water and just, you know, and keep the cell full of water at all times. Right now it's only being powered by the battery charger down there, and in conjunction with that battery. I had it running on the Camaro just a couple minutes ago, and it was actually running quite nicely. However, it, you know, is not vented to the car, so it's not showing any gains of any sort. But you can see production pretty good here. There's actually more voltage coming out of the battery charger right now than there was coming out of the car. With the battery charger, I've got a per plate gap voltage of 2.39 volts. With just the car, it's 2.21 volts. So it'll actually be better once I put it into the car. My upcoming project, which is half covered by a newspaper, these are the new plates. I'm not exactly happy with the gap that I've got going on here. Well, actually, I'm happy with the gap, but the flex in the plate itself is one I don't like, so I need to put a couple of bridges. On the next design, I'll put a couple of bridges in there so it keeps the center part more rigid with the outside, which is secured by the gaskets. You can see the rest of them, they're stacked up, separated with the gaskets that you can see partially right here. That'll be probably the next stage of this design, even though I'm not quite certain I'll be happy with this either. I'm going to have to design new end plates, I think, and pretty much design an entire new cell to get what I want, which I already got designs floating around in the head right now. So this right here will be part of the bubbler. It's just a household filter unit. This is the top, which right now is currently setting. I tried using the purple, turn it around so you can see it. Tried using the purple and the black PVC, the heavy cement, and it bonded to the Schedule 80, but would not bond to the filter housing. So what I went to next, which is on the next part of on the next design, is some of the Weld-On 16. I went ahead and put that together using that, so hopefully it sticks this time. And then I'll once I get the last couple of fittings to fit the 3/4 inch NPT fitting down there to the cell, I'll make sure that I get the flow and the bubble size that I want out of those small holes on the inner pipe for the bubbler. That'll go out to the bubbler output. Obviously will end up going out to the car and possibly through a secondary bubbler if I can find one that I can fit in the car. I just figured I'd give you guys a heads up for what I've got going on so far. There is quite a bit of work going on right now as far as what I'm doing with this design, with the new design. Both these plates here and these plates here will end up being scrapped because I'm not totally happy with them. The only other thing is there it is my toroid that I've got sitting up here along with the PWM 3G that sits in there. I'll end up hooking that up at some point in time to the cell to see if I can get a little bit more production with some slight resonance. But most of that resonance, I believe, is going to work when I get it hooked up to there. When I hook it up to this set of plates here, I'll probably end up setting it up with the toroid in mind. Which, if I hook the toroid up as is, where's the sticker? As is, it shows, if you can read it, input voltage of 115 volts, output voltage of 500 volts, and 6.3 volts. So, I may end up changing what I've got for the time being so I don't have to tear that apart. I may end up changing it around to run this on higher voltage. So, we'll see what happens. I'm not totally sure yet what I'm going to do. Mainly due to money reasons than anything else. Right now I'm just using plain old sodium hydroxide, aka lye. I think I've got a total of three heaping teaspoons, I believe, in this solution, which is actually a little bit stronger than what I'm probably going to end up with, I think. Unless I get that PWM running on it. So, yeah, I think that's going to be about it for the time being. The fittings I've got on here are not permanent fittings. These are just temporary fittings to make sure the system is running right. Generally no leaks. Which, for the most part, as long as I don't have pressure on this cell, the gaskets actually are doing doing okay. I was actually a little bit surprised. Actually, more to the point, I was surprised that they were leaking. But since they are SBR bonded rubber paper gaskets, I guess it's kind of somewhat expected to have a little bit of leaching out of them. But it almost looked like large droplet condensation on the side of your drinking glass when it's cold. On the outside of the cell, or on the outside of the plates rather. So what I'll end up doing is either changing to a PTFE gasket again, or I'll end up using these gaskets and not just have any pressure behind it. But I think that's mainly going to depend on the total end plate design that I've got on the next cell, which is going to be a little bit larger than this, not by much. Just going to be enough to accommodate a true 6x6 inch working area. So, but I just figured I'll let you guys know with everything that's going on currently and what I'm thinking of. So, this is MOS68X with an update, signing off.